Hey guys, in this video we are going to work on this toggled sidebar menu. We can toggle it using this menu icon and close it as well from this icon. And we can filter the rooms depending on the price. So if we change the price here through this slider, you can see the rooms on the map change as well. And we can use also the search input to filter the cities. So if we search here for Mumbai, the only rooms appear here are the rooms in Mumbai, and we can even further filter them using the price slider. If we zoom out, we can see the only rooms available on the map are the rooms in Mumbai. And here if we clear the city, the whole rooms appear again. So let's get started working on this. Let's go to components and create a new folder. Let's call it sidebar. Inside it a new component, sidebar.js, and let's start building this component. We're going to use a drawer component from Material UI. Let's import it here. And let's add the props of this drawer. Variant is persistent. That means it is not closed automatically. The user can close it. Hide backdrop true. We don't need the backdrop. We don't need to cover the whole content. And open, we need to pass a props is open and set is open from the main menu. And let's use it here. This will control the open state of this drawer. And let's build the drawer header, because we need to add some configuration to make it the same height of the main menu. Let's create it here. Let's call it DrawerHeader. And we are going to use a styled from Material UI. It is div component. And we will receive the theme. Display flex. Align items to the center, and justify content. We will let the space between, and padding, let's give it spacing top and bottom 0, and left and right 8 pixels. It is 1. This will give this header the same height of our main menu, and we used here styled, not SX, because SX is not working with this feature until now. Let's use it here. And let's add the text. Apply search or filter. And let's add the icon button to close this menu. Let's add icon here. Chevron left. Let's import it from Material Icons. And let's make it bigger. Font size large. On a click, we are going to close this sidebar using set is open to false. And let's add here box component to contain the price slider and the search input box. Let's give it width 240 pixels and padding 3. And let's save and go to our navbar component. This is our main navigation, and let's add our component here. sidebar, and let's create the state controls this sidebar. Const is open and set is open, and let's give it default value false. That means it's closed. And let's pass these states here. Is open and set is open. And let's go to our navbar icon. Here in this icon button, we are going to add on a click action. We will set is open to be true to open this menu. And let's save and check. This is our toggled sidebar menu, and its header has the same height as of our navigation menu, and we can control it using these two icons. Let's go back and continue working on our sidebar. First, we will add the slider of the price. Let's create a new component for that. We're going to call it price slider.js. And let's start building it. Let's add it in a box component. Give it margin from top 5 and add the title. It is a typography. Max price, and we are going to add the $sign, and we will add the price here. We need to add that in the global context. Let's go here and add it after rooms. Let's call it price filter and give it the default value 50, the maximum value. And let's go to reducer and create a new action to control that state. Case filter the price. And we will retain the same state and set price filter to be the one in the payload of the action. And let's save and go back to our component. And let's extract it from our global context. And the dispatcher as well to change it using our hook use value. And let's add it here. Now let's add the slider. It's from Material UI, and let's add it is a props here. Min value is 0 and max is 50. And the default one is the 50. Value label display, it is auto. That means we can see it when we hover over the slider. Marks, it is an array, we are going to add it. We need the 3 marks. One for 0, value 0, label $sign with 0. These values will appear beneath the slider in 3 sections. And let's add 25 in the middle and 50 the maximum value. And let's pass it here. And let's add the value to be the one in the global context, price filter. And on change, we will dispatch the action to change the price filter. Dispatch type filter price, and the payload, it will be the value on the change. We will receive it here as an argument in our function. We will receive the event and the new price value, and let's pass it here for the payload. Let's save and add it in our sidebar. Let's add it here. And let's save and check. Here we can see our price slider. And here if we slide, we can see the value change. That means our functionality is working correctly. Now let's deal with the search input. Let's add box here to contain that box. And let's add reference for this box because we are going to inject the geocoder input inside this box. Let's add it in our global context. Here after this map ref, we are going to create a new ref, container ref equals use ref. And let's pass it in the context provider beside state dispatch and map ref. Let's save and go back. And let's bring it from our global context using our hook use value. And let's use it here. Let's save and create a new component. We are going to call it geocoder input. This component will inject our search input inside the sidebar. It will return null because we are just going to inject the component. And let's bring here map ref, the container ref, the dispatcher using our hook from the global context. And we are going to use Mapbox Geocoder. Let's create an object from that, call it control equals new Mapbox Geocoder. Let's import it. And let's pass it an object. Marker false, we don't need it. And add the access token. We're going to bring it from our environment variable, map underscore token. And let's add here use effect. In the first render, we are first going to check the container if it contains already input search. If there is a child, the first child of this parent component, we are going first to remove it to avoid adding it many times. Container ref.current.remove child, and we are going to pass this child. After that, we are going to inject our search input, mapref.current.append child. When the controller object of this geocoder is added, we are going to associate it or match it with the map, mapref.current.getMap. This will connect the geocoder controller with this map and adding the search inputs in our sidebar. And let's add here a listener. When we find the result, we will receive the event to extract the location of this result. Const codes equals e.result.geometry dot coordinates. It is an array of longitude and latitude. And let's dispatch to change our address filter. We are going to add that in the global context in a moment. Type filter address. And the payload is an object. Longitude is the first one and latitude is the second one of this array. And let's add another listener. When we clear the search input, on clear, we are going to add function here. Dispatch action clear address. In this action, we are going to reset everything to the default values. And let's save and go to our clustered map component. We are going to add this geocoder here inside the map. Geocoder input. And let's save and go to our reducer to create these actions. First action, filter address. For the time being, we are going only to update the value of this address. So we will retain the same state. And the address filter, we are going to create it in a moment in our global context. It will be the value in the action payload. And let's add the clear action. Case clear address. And for now, we are going to reset the address filter to be null and the price filter to be 50. Let's save and go to context provider to add the address filter. Let's add it here after price filter. Address filter is null as default. Let's save and check. And here's our search box. Let's try to search for a city. Let's search for Brasilia. It is working perfect. And let's change the price slider to check if a clear is working. If we clear our search input, the price is set to the default value of 50. So our action clear address is working as well. Let's search again for Hanoi, for example. Our functionality is working perfectly until now, and also the clearance is working. Let's go back now and work on filtering the rooms, because here we're just working on functionality of sliding and changing the location or the address. Let's go to our context provider and add here filtered rooms. Default value is an empty array. This global state, the one it will change, and the old global state rooms will stay as it is. Now let's go to our reducer and update some actions here. This update rooms, when we bring our rooms from the server or from the database, we need not just to fill the rooms, the main array, we need also to fill our filtered rooms and reset the address filter and the price filter to the default values. So address filter, default value null, price filter 50, and the filtered rooms, it will be the same payload action. So when we first open the page, the values inside our array filtered rooms are the same values inside our global value rooms. And let's as well here, when we clear the address, we will set the filtered rooms to be the rooms inside the state, because these rooms are not changing. And let's save and go to our cluster map component to replace rooms with these filtered rooms. Here let's replace it with filtered rooms, and let's copy it and replace it everywhere here in the loop. and here in the use effect, and let's save and go to our reducer to add a new function to update these filtered rooms. Here when we update the price, we need to update our filtered rooms as well. We are going to assign it to new function. We are going to create it in a moment. Let's call it applyFilter, and we are going to pass it the rooms inside our global context, state.rooms, and the address inside our state as well, state.addressFilter, and the new price we've just received, action.payload, and let's copy it and add it in the filter address action. Let's add it here, filtered rooms is the same function, but we are going to change here the address to be the new address we've just received in the payload, and the price the one inside our state. And let's create this function here, applyFilter. We are going to receive rooms, address, and price, and every time we change the address or price, this function will be triggered. So we will create a new variable, filtered rooms, and assign it to the rooms in the argument. Actually it is lit because we are going to change it. Let's add lit instead of const, and let's check if there is address object. We are going to extract the longitude and the latitude from this address, and we are going to filter the rooms. Filtered rooms equals filtered rooms dot filter. We will receive the room, and we will apply some conditions here. Let's create new variable, longitude difference. We'll check if the longitude in the address is bigger than the room longitude. We are going to subtract the room longitude from this address longitude. Otherwise it will be the opposite. That means we are subtracting the small number from the big number. And let's copy it for the latitude. Let's change them together. And we are going to return if the difference is less or equals 1 in the longitude, and the difference as well in the latitude is less or equals 1. It is approximately 60 miles or something within that, because here it is in degrees. You can update this value as you want, depends on how long the distance you want it to be. And we will check the price. If it is less than 50, we are going to filter again our filtered rooms. We will receive the room, and we will just include the room with the price less than this value of the price. Let's fix this. After applying these two filters, we are going to retain the filtered rooms array, and this will be assigned to our global context variable filtered rooms. And these filtered rooms will control the cluster and trigger it to create and update new clusters from the points. Let's open our sidebar, and let's try first the price slider. It is working. It is filtering in real time our rooms on this map. And now let's try our search input. Let's try it on Mumbai. Here we can see only the rooms of Mumbai, and we can even filter them using this price slider. Now it is working as well. Let's zoom out to check if it is really working. We can see only one room. It is working perfectly. And let's clear out here to check if it will be set to the default. Now all the rooms are here. So our functionality is working perfect. And in our next video, we are going to work on the pop-up, how to show the details of the room and the images. Let's go here to check in Brazil. If we click on this avatar, we can see the room added by this user, the images in a slider, and we can see the price, the title and the description. And if we click, we can see more details. We can see here the address. It is added automatically using only the location or the parameters, the longitude and latitude of the location. So see you guys in our next video.